Hi, it's Ileana. So today I'm going to talk about the aspect of ascension and steps on what is the beginnings of ascension. So the first thing that we look at is working on creating empowered balance in our life, so that we are able to self-learn, to self-teach ourselves, to manifest and create what we want in our lives, not to let ourselves be victims of the 3D world of we can't, I can't, oh, I don't know how to do this. Well, you can learn how to do it. There's so many different tutorials. There's so many different how-to steps that are free that can teach you how to do what you want to do in life. You're just changing your future to empower yourself, not to be helpless, not to be a victim. Self-learning and self-teaching is the most powerful tool that you can discover to improve yourself, to improve your life circumstances, situations. Learn to be who you want to be. Learn new skills, learn new abilities. You got for free. The internet has so many resources. If you choose to look for them, you can discover for yourself new opportunities, how to self-learn and teach. You just have to apply yourself to do it. Empower yourself to say, I will learn new things, I will discover new things and manifest a better world and life for myself. I want this. I need this. I'm doing it now, not later, today. I'm doing it today to empower myself, to help myself. It starts from that. The willingness to manifest something into your world that will help to create the change you want to see, to create the things in your world, from energetically to physicality. It starts with that. Then we go to, I'm not going to accumulate any more karma. I'm not going to attract anything that is not of the highest need to myself. Because when we remove the karma loads, when we remove the drama, when we remove the chaos in our lives and we free ourselves up from this heavy energy, we work on the shadow self too, to be in balance with the light and the darkness. It's not just removing all darkness and just being in the light. It's 50-50 balance of light and darkness, because without one there is no other. It's both 50-50 balance to not attract new karma into our lives, not to attract heavy dark energy into our lives, and clean the energy that still lives within us, to work on releasing that so it doesn't create pain for us, it doesn't create problems for us in the living world of the energetic and physical body. Also working on neutrality, to be neutral, to not put ourselves into situations we don't need to be in, that attracts energy we don't want in our life. Negativity, resentment, judgment, jealousy. Working on not being triggered to go into those types of energies and situations. Being neutral, practicing neutrality, and not putting ourselves where we don't need to be, literally, and not being triggered by things so easily. Holding a neutral position of non-interference, non-judgment, non-jealousy. And if we get triggered by these things, looking at why you got triggered and what can you do to resolve that quickly so you are not in a situation you don't want to be in. It's hard to always be neutral, to come from a neutral place of not going back and forth in a situation, but just holding neutral ground, neutral space of where you calmly assess something and don't respond with heightened emotions or thinking something about someone or something that is not as it seems. Not judging somebody without knowing all the facts. Not making a quick decision about something and yet needing to think about it, to think the steps through. What's the best decision for me? What is the wisest choice I can make? Not judging a book by its cover, not making assumptions about something or someone, just sitting in a neutral, calm, quiet space to think about what your decision will be or would be or can be. What are all your options? Where you get the best outcome in life that you need. Taking the time to get that. And if you don't have time, if you need to make a quick choice or decision, to make that from a neutral place and space where you will get a good outcome and a safe outcome still by thinking about it a little bit to get a good result, and not just going full throttle, making a quick, hasty choice that does not do you any good because too many emotions were involved: anger, triggers, resentment, judgment, frustration. Those are all things that come from heightened emotions. They don't come from a neutral space where you are just serene and calm to make a choice. Things where you are balanced, you are neutral. It's a neutral space where you can just make a decent decision without the pain and suffering involved or heavy energies. Nothing is loading you. Nothing is confronting you. Nothing is triggering you. It's a neutral space to make a wise decision based on knowing all the facts, information that you need to make an informed decision. That is neutrality. It's not acting out based on heightened emotion, perception, thinking of others one way or another. It's about empowering yourself to have wise choices at your disposal to make an empowered choice, knowing who you are, what you are, and all your options, because you've thought about it creatively. You've been in a neutral, calm space where you're not making rash decisions about your own life, somebody else's life, opinions, what we think, what we mean, and the outcome of that. When you come from neutral space, the energy works itself out in a very calm way that's rational, that is calm, that gives you a good choice, not chaotic outcomes. Neutral space, neutral balance, without hastiness, without triggering, without pain and suffering. That is working on the path of ascension, being balanced within yourself, inner self and outer self, having that balance of energies of both your aspects, your soul, your mind, your body, your physicality, all of it balanced as a whole. Non-judgment, neutrality. And it's not that you don't need to help others or not interfere to help others. Of course, if we see injustice, we will intervene perhaps. But what choice will you make to intervene? How will you do it in the steps that are available to you to create the highest good for those you're helping without creating more chaos or problems for them? How we intervene is also important in how we practice neutrality and letting go of karma loads. Not to stress others and not to push others too much beyond their comfort zones and boundaries if they're not ready for that. Words and actions are very powerful. What we say and do can impact others' lives. Thinking about that. How do we do this in a healthy, empowered, productive way without interfering with another person's soul path, with their life cycle? How do we do this in a good way that's helpful, but not hindering the person or not interfering in their life? That's also neutrality and practicing letting go of karma. That's part of that. The other steps in the path of ascension is thinking about who you are, what kind of life you are creating for yourself, what you want your present and your future to be, and how those outcomes are created in balance and harmony. Not negativity, not constantly having negative thoughts of this person hurt me. They are the worst thing ever in my life. Okay, somebody hurts you. Woe's me, I'm the victim. What about, okay, this person hurt me. Obviously, they have their own issues to work on. I'm just going to let them go. I'm going to give them space and time to see how they can heal themselves or work it out. And if they can't, you let them go permanently. So there's no toxicity creating issues with that person for you and them. You release them, and you release the energy involved with you and them. Cut the cords, the energetic physical cords, so that does not create karma for you and them or life situations in general. What's not working, stop it, assess it, change it if you can, and if you can't, let it go without feeling, how can I say this politely, but hurt. Without that energy creating that within your own life environment and within yourself and your outer self. Working on all the energy levels and layers of yourself to clean the energy that you need to release and let go. So you don't have that stuck within yourself with that but hurt feeling, or even just hurt and frustration and anger in general. Working on releasing that as much as you can. Just energetically saying, I release this, I let this go, I let this be healed for the highest good of myself and others. Since I don't want to hold this energy anymore, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be hurt, I don't want to be enslaved by my own perceptions of reality. I release what is not for my highest good. Even that little mantra helps. The other aspects of ascension is thinking about when your time comes, the time of passing, whenever that is, who do you want to be in the afterlife? What are your choices? Because you have many options. You can choose to remember who you've been and who you are and all the life lessons that you've learned, because that empowers you with higher knowledge. Even if it's you've had life lessons that were the most difficult, the most traumatic, the good, the bad, and the worst. Remembering that empowers you to make wise decisions for the next lifetime of what that will look like, because you have options. When you're ready to pass on, sometimes the light will come, that tunnel, that corridor of white blue light, and beings will appear, your family, angels, Jesus, God, whatever you choose to call it. Those could be real angels, God, your real family, but they can also be tricksters and beings that can shapeshift to try to lure you to go into the soul traps, invite you in, pretend that they're your real family, Jesus, God, angels. So you have to look at them. You have to read their energy and that light corridor. If it's the real thing or whether it's the light trap, the soul trap. You have to read it and ask, is this truthfully Jesus? Is this truthfully God? Is this truthfully angels? Is this truthfully my family? Is this light tunnel corridor truthfully heaven, or a better place of sanctuary for me to go and heal? Or is this a soul trap, light trap to entrap me into recycling my soul, where I will forget everything of my current lifetime and past lifetimes, and my soul will be recycled into physical reincarnation on Earth or some other 3D, 4D planet without my permission? Look for the truth of what you're seeing in front of yourself. If that's the real people you're seeing, or if it's tricksters, shapeshifters, or some kind of soul trap technology that is looping souls back into physical reincarnation without their permission or desire. And if you find the real truth, that it is God, it is angels, it is higher beings that are here to help you, your family who have passed on, and that it's really heaven or a better place than that light corridor or light tunnel. And if you choose to go into that, think of where you're going. Are you truly going to heaven? What are you going to create on that other side of your reality? Are you going to another 3D planet to reincarnate 40, 5D, 60, 70, 8D, 90, 9D, 10D, 11D, 12D, 13D, 14D, and on and on? Are you going to another dimension? Are you going into another realm? Are you creating your own new living reality on the other side? Are you creating your own space of reality? You don't always have to live on planets. As a soul, you can create sanctuaries and live there on different realms and dimensions. Or are you choosing to reincarnate again into a physicality? How soon? When? Do you need healing? Do you need to go into a healing realm that's 4D, 5D to heal? Because sometimes that can happen before you actually go into another incarnation, physical incarnation of your choice as a physical body, where your soul is born into a new body. When that happens, if that happens, that's up to your choice. Nobody can tell you when or why that will happen or be. It's up to you. You have that choice. There's also what's called the Lords of Karma and the Life Review. When you're passing, sometimes they will appear and say, well, there's stuff that happened in your life and you need to review it and fix it and go back to another life in a 3D world. So we're going to review with you what happened and why, so you can fix these things. Sometimes there's nothing to fix. What happened is what happened. And you're fine with that. You've made your choice that you do not need that life review. You do not need to go back and redo it or fix it on another 3D world or 4D world and meet the same actors that you just had in your present life and fix things with them, those same people, because there's nothing to fix. You are just fine with what happened, how it went down, because things happen for a reason, for you to learn, to understand, and to empower yourself. Life lessons, situations come into our life to teach us something we deeply need to know, so we don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again in human lifetimes. So the life review with the Lords of Karma, you can say no to that and not do it and make your own choice where you go and why, whether it's a physical reality that you incarnate into, whether you go for healing in 4D, 5D to heal whatever you need to, because there is healing sanctuaries to do that work of healing, to heal what was broken in a human lifetime and that didn't get fixed during your passing. So you don't get stuck in physical realities of existence floating outside of Earth or haunting somebody as a ghost. Those things can happen when there's resentment and unfinished business after a human life is over. Those people that hold on to what they don't need to hold on can end up like that, or they can go into the healing sanctuaries and heal and move on to the higher realms and densities to make their decisions of what they want to do next. So you don't always need to do the life review with the Lords of Karma. And if you want to do the life review to just see what you need to see from that, you can. You can do the life review, but you can choose to not immediately incarnate into another physical life and go fix those things. You don't have to agree to that. That's the option they give you. You don't have to agree to that if you don't agree with it. You can do the life review preview and say, yes, I know, I could have done that better, or I could have made another decision. Good, I know, I've learned what I need to do, but I'm not going to repeat that again in another human cycle reincarnation. I've done what I needed. I've learned what I've learned. Thank you for the life review, Lords of Karma. I am now moving on and choosing what I want to choose. You do not get to tell me what to do. Thank you so much. I will steer my own ship and make my own choices here on going forward. Thank you. And you dismiss the Lords of Karma. Then you sit in your own energy field and you contemplate what your next life choice will be. Because your energy, your pure energy of the soul, you're back with your soul self. You no longer have the limits of the human body that you just left in your current life. You are now pure soul energy, and you have the ability to make your own choice in how you will live henceforth. There's many options. First option, You can choose to have another incarnation as a physical, corporeal body or semi-corporeal. Sometimes when you go into the higher densities and realms, you're able to work with your body to shift it to be energy, partially physical and partially corporeal, or just physical. That's option number one. Or to just be in a human galactic body on some planet 3D or higher, and planning that out, how that will look like for you going forward. The other options is you can choose to be totally in an energy light body expression where you travel the universe in a light body, and you can sometimes take on physical corporeal form. And then when you visited planets, worked on whatever you need to work on, you dissipate that corporeal physical body and you become non-corporeal soul self in your light body, traveling the universe. The universe is discovering what you need to, learning what you need to, as long as you're not destroying worlds, you're not interfering with the various environments, natural laws of the universes, the beings that live there. You can live in a light body and have that form. The other options is that sometimes living beings, after passing on, will choose to, you're ascending. The light body is one ascension path. The human body incarnation is another ascension path. Another option is you discover what your light body energy is. You sit with it, you learn it, and then you take that and create a higher advanced humanoid galactic body that you live in. But you have the ability to live for thousands of years, to not live in disease, to be free of disease, to be free of human issues, because you've studied your light body and you format it into a physical aspect that does not require human incarnation of the soul to be born into a baby body and grow. You create your own physical body from your light body. You structure it, you create it, whatever method works for you, you will discover intuitively how that works, because you're going to study your light body energy and what you create with that for a physical body without the limits of incarnation and of putting your soul in a baby body and growing. You can choose to not do that and create your own grown-up body with your soul frequency from your light body. Or you can take your light body and create a Q body of what was mentioned in Star Trek. The Q are immortal. They can't be killed. They can't be hurt. They are not prone to disease. They can choose to modulate their emotions, their feelings, what they experience. They can live forever. They can teleport wherever they want. They don't need starships or portals. They have the ability to make bodies, to shapeshift, to change their reality from their light body to create a body and work with it and stay more in that body for a while and work with it and teleport to go to different planets, places, and learn about different beings, but not interfere with them. Qs did interfere in Star Trek, in human affairs. The higher Q body, you don't interfere. You live your life in accordance with whatever universal laws there is. You don't harm others. You don't harm yourself. You live to the highest ability that you can with all your abilities intact. That's a Q body. You have that option to be in a Q body without any limits of what human physicality limits us on planets. And it does dampen our abilities when we're born in human bodies. But when you're in your highest ascension of the Q body, you don't have those limits. It's all about perception and planning, what you choose your life to be when you pass on, what your new life will be. You create that before. You let go of all the trauma, the drama, the pain, the suffering. You work on releasing that So you could be in a light body. You could study your light body. If you want to be pure energy in a light body, that's what you can create to be. Or you can work with your light body and create a physical body to sustain you without having to put your soul in a baby body and grow. Full grown body. You create that for yourself as your new avatar that matches exactly with your soul frequency in your light body of pure energy. You can just travel out in the universe as that pure energy light body. You can create and manifest different bodies as the Q being that you are, working with the soul energy, working with the light body, and working with creating different bodies to be in them with all your abilities intact, then to dissipate them, go back into your light body and create new body avatars as you go along with all your abilities in place and live that way. You can also do that. There's many different options of the being that you can be when your time comes. But you need to release all your heaviness, all your problems, worries, all fears before you pass on. Work on clearing all of that, being the best that you can be before your time comes, because that's part of the ascension path also. Not what you'll be when you leave the human body. Yes, think about that, plan that out, but also clean and work on what you are now to be at your highest, purest energy that you can be to the best of your ability. That is so important in doing that energy, body, physical work in the here and the now, to be on your ascension path and not to be distracted by external things that take you off the course of doing this important work, to be within yourself, your outer self, to be in balance with both light and dark, 50-50. Balance yourself, work on your energy, work on your body, work on your whole self to be the best that you can be while you're alive, because you're here for a reason, to discover your life purpose, your missions, how you can help yourself and others to the best of your ability. That's what physicality and incarnating and reincarnation is all about, for you to discover who you are working in a physical body. But you don't always have to be in a physical body. You can become more than you are yourself right now. Meditation, true deep soul meditation, sitting with yourself, working through your energy body, your physical body, to be in balance and alignment, and releasing energies that are stuck in your body, in your soul, releasing that, doing the shadow work, working with your darkest aspects of yourself, with the darkest energy within you, working on that to heal that. Heal the trauma, heal the pain, heal the suffering, because that's your shadow body. That is what shadow work is all about, working with the trauma, the chaos, the darkness within, that 50% dark energy. That exists. You cannot just bypass that and think you're just going to be in the light space. If you don't work on that, you're not going to be in the highest light. You need to do the hard work working on the shadow aspects. I know that sounds weird, but that's real. And then there's the light aspect of yourself. To balance yourself, you also have to work on that energy to keep it pure, to keep it at the highest energy level that you can make it. There's many different energy levels on the ascension path of the energy that you can hold for your highest healing and well-being. To maintain that energy, to raise that frequency, you clear what is not for your highest good, and you work on your emotions, your thoughts, so that negative things don't creep into your ascension path or create distractions and sidelines of life possibilities. Because life course can change, possibilities can change, but don't forget that these ascension levels and steps are here for you to consider and work with if you want to create your ascension path, because you create that. Nobody creates it for you. You create the ascension that you want, the life you want now, and the life that you want after your passing. Think about how that will look. What will you be? How will you be? What will be your choices here in the now and in the then path? That is ascension. That is part of ascension. Soul discovery, soul path discovery, exploration, unity, harmony, and frequencies and physicality. Semi-corporeal, totally physical, or non-corporeal at all. Think about all those options and who you are now and who you will be when your time comes. And if you don't want to forget what your life was like now or before, what you remembered in past lives, say this: I vow to myself that I will never forget who I truly am on all the levels of my soul existence. There's also another option: going back to source creation, and totally amalgamating with everything that you are on all levels of your soul, being a whole, just amalgamating with all soul aspects, returning to source. And you can return to source temporarily or permanently and no longer have to do incarnation, reincarnation, these light body stuff, these Q beings. You are just one with everything in creation and source. You are one soul aspect, and you've amalgamated with all your oversoul aspects. You are your one supreme soul being. That is another option. That can be temporary, how long you go back to source, or it can be very permanent, where you're not going to experience all those other options that were just mentioned. That is another option that you have as an opportunity if you want it when your time comes. But you might choose to experience other things before making that ultimate decision. And nothing is ever permanent. You can reverse your choices. You are not limited by anything or anyone in this lifetime or other opportunities after passing. No limitation, none. What you choose to explore is up to you, and how long that is or how short that is. You have options, opportunities, and possibilities at your disposal at all times in any reality. Your choices are yours, nobody else's. Another aspect of ascension is on that path is treating yourself with love, kindness, and respect. Not letting other people bring you down with their accusations. People might say whatever they want. They each have their own perception of reality, of how they deal with you on a life basis, daily basis. Parents, siblings, friends, other relatives, co-workers, they each have their own perception of reality and how that looks like to them. It might look totally different to you from the perception of what you are facing and dealing with them. So the equality might be different from their viewpoint to yours. We shouldn't play the blame game of who did what, when, and how. If somebody is persistently carrying on with doing that and it hurts your feelings, say, let's move on and work on what we currently have in the relationship. If you don't want to apologize for something they perceive you did wrong, don't do it just to pacify them in what looks like a balanced relationship. If you did nothing wrong, there's nothing to apologize for, but they have that perception of lacking something you need to do to fulfill what they see and feel you did wrong to them. If it's not reciprocal and balanced, and you don't feel like there's an apology that's needed, don't do it. Just to say, okay, moving on, we did it. I apologize for the sake of just ending this. If it's not right, then you don't apologize for what you didn't do, because that is karma. That is also loading karma. Love yourself enough, respect yourself enough, be kind to yourself and respectful to genuinely respect yourself and who you are. Love yourself, honor others, and treat each other with dignity. And if somebody is mistreating you, don't let them do that to you, because that's karma, chaos, and disbalance and misbalance on the path of ascension. Be the best you can be. Sit in your own beautiful energy and take the higher road and don't fall into that lower energy field stream that others try to put on you, because that is karma loading. That is front loading of something perceived as wrong, putting that onto you, imprinting somebody else's imperfection or maybe even mental sickness, disbalanced physical aspects onto you, as if something is wrong with you when there is nothing wrong with you per se, but they project that onto you. Don't let that be loaded into your soul consciousness. That neutrality aspect is not to get anything like that pierce who you are as a living being, to not let it affect you, to leave it at a neutral stance with neutral responses. I did nothing wrong, and let's move on. And if they can't move on, they can't. That's not your issue. That's not your baggage to carry. Remember, you are sovereign living beings with free will choice, always, no matter what. You have the choice to choose how you react, how you perceive things, how you process reality. The path of ascension allows you to work on yourself, work on your energy, and how you balance that energy within yourself. You have the ability to do that. Looking deeply, working on it, and balancing what is right and what is wrong. Knowing the energy of what that feels like, that's ascension. Understanding situations, reality, and everything that it is, exploring it and coming to the conclusion of what's the right decision for you to make. Not based on what somebody else tells you or asks you to do or whatever, but you yourself, the inner you that has the right to decide what is right for you and what is not. That is also the path of ascension, weighing those things and balancing them so that you're in good energy. You can uplift your energy and raise it to heal yourself, to heal the mind, body, and the soul, to improve your life, to manifest positive things for your reality. Sometimes that means dealing with negative things to clear them in a smoother path. Learning from life lessons. That's part of ascension as well. Understanding how that works and moving beyond just simplistic perception of reality and looking deeper of what really exists out there, and understanding that to help yourself grow and evolve as living beings to the best of your ability. It's about not letting somebody else's negative energies and outcomes imprint onto yourself, so that energy transference does not yet transfer to you or imprint it onto you, what others say or do in regards to you or people close to you. Not letting that person's or people's opinions about whatever impact who you are as a true living being and a soul. If it does not resonate, and if it does not match your energy, don't take it in within yourself. Don't allow that to come within the soul. Let it go, step away. That cannot go within you, within your energy field. It can't. You say, this cannot affect me, this cannot pierce my energy, therefore I am protected from it. And so it is, because you can't be affected. It's as simple as that. Ascension is also practicing detachment and non-attachment to people, things, situations that are hard to resolve, to try to figure out what's the best way to release the energy. You try to deal with it peacefully by negotiating, by talking, but if the person doesn't want to talk or doesn't want to understand even what's going on, or the situation is hard to resolve, practicing that non-attachment, detachment, letting go of the hardcore emotions that come with the situation and looking at it realistically from the perspective of, I'm calm, I'm cool, collected, I'm not going to get angry, triggered. I'm not going to go ballistic over this. In a detached, reasonable manner, looking at the situation to resolve it if you can, to do your best, and not attaching to people and things that no longer serve to be in your life for whatever reason that happens. Practicing detachment, letting go, releasing, not putting guilt trips on anybody, not accusing anybody of anything, not trying to manipulate people emotionally or in other ways of emotional and physical blackmail. Detachment and non-attachment is doing none of that. It's simply calmly not engaging in situations that are hurtful, that cause negativity, sickness, or pain for you or suffering. Detaching from those things and not reattaching to such patterns happening in life over and over again. Recognizing what that looks like and not going back to that again and again. Not being abused and victimized by other people's way of doing things and situations in life. 3D life can be difficult and hard. It's how you look at it and navigate it that creates a change of that space where nothing can negatively impact you anymore because you're not attached to it and you're detached from things of that nature. It no longer impacts you or phases you in life because you don't have strong emotional attachments of what comes your way next around the corner. And you're prepared for anything and everything without being disturbed by anything around you. You are neutral. You are a being that is in balance no matter what. Practicing detachment and non-attachment. And I don't mean totally dissociate from all emotion and who you are. Just don't get super attached emotionally and physically to whatever is happening in your life so you can logically and calmly work it out. Again, high emotions create stress and pain. When you understand what's deep under the surface of something, you see a brand new reality of what you didn't know before, but now you do. So you can practice what you want and what you want your life to look like, and what you want in your life and what you don't want to create or bring in. That's what detachment, non-attachment, and neutrality is all about. Keeping a balance, neutral space, neutral way of life to help yourself. Thank you so much.